Okay, a little bit about Monkey Man. So basically, this is Dev Patel, and he's 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 a cage fighter, and he wears a mask, but he's sort of paid to lose, if you like. So he's like, the crowd are baying for blood. It's like an underground WW you know fight thing, and they
Yeah.
bay for blood. And then you get this little backstory that he wants to get a job, um, working for this lady that runs a really high class brothel. So and that lady's boss, he wants to uh, he wants to get revenge for, because of something that happened where he lived. Some people
Yeah.
come along and they destroy the town, and his mum gets killed and all that. And he's
Because this is set in India, isn't it?
India, yeah, it's set in India.
Yeah.
So, and the main villain, he's like a politician, and he's starting to get lots of votes and all that. Anyway, so he this gets this lady's wallet sort of snatched by a lot of lads, and then he returns the wallet because he wants to get a job. He gets a job in the kitchens where he befriends like a gangster, should we say, an Indian gangstery bloke, and then he sort of said to him, "Look, I'm a fighter. If you want to make some money to this gangstering bloke, I'll if you put a load of money on me, I'll actually win the fight." So
Yeah.
so he can get access up the ladder so that he can get to this woman, so that he can kill her, and the boss kill the woman's boss. So he does get the job as a waiter, and then he makes an attempt on the killer's boss, and doesn't succeed. And the police arrive, and the police chase him. And then he does this. Oh, well, let's just say a little tuck tuck thing. So you got a tuck tuck police chase, with a
Oh,
super,
okay. Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
supercharged tuck tuck.
Yeah.
The police are chasing him. They do eventually sort of catch him, but he falls in the river, escapes, and then this sort of temple of good people, they sort of pick him
Oh,
up, and he starts training again. So when you get, and
yeah. Oh,
then
yeah. Okay, so Sean, what you're describing right now is all the usual action beats you
everything.
will
So
expect.
yeah, exactly. So what can we say about this? The action scenes. There's a lot of action scenes, a lot of and it was, to me, it seemed very shaky cam. So,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah.
it was very fast, very a bit sort of, say, Jason Bourne
Yeah.
faster than the John Wick stuff, and some of it, I think, it was I don't know, it didn't really do it for me. The fight in it was like too much, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
these films have been overdone, so like as we said, John Wick.
Mm.
So, but then again, towards the sort of they did have nods to some kung fu films. They had a great nod to, in fact, they had two nods to Enter the Dragon, which the one scene, shall we say, the end with mirrors and things, not quite mirrors, but
Oh, yeah.
sort of, anyway.
Yeah.
So I had a few nods to a couple of things, which I thought, oh well, okay. But I didn't like the car chases, me, because
Yeah.
I just,
Once you said tuk car chase, I was gonna be like, yeah, Sean's gonna hate that.
yeah, just got to hate it. Um,
Didn't they do
it
that
just,
in the last Indiana Jones film, though?
they
Tuk
did,
car.
yeah, exactly, and that's why. I remember. I think I picked up on that point before. It's like these things, they're not going to take that sort of rough
Yeah.
punishment or take corners. If you go around a corner in one of those things,
You go
speed
over.
you're going
You
at,
fall
you're just
over,
going to
yeah.
go flying off it.
Yeah.
They're not the most stablest of things. But anyway, so some of the fight scenes I thought, but what was quite interesting, there wasn't really any guns in it. There was right at the very beginning when but apart from that, there's no guns. There's knives and things, and there's blood, lots and lots of blood and stuff flying about, and then people
Yeah.
get punched. It's like, phew, so yeah, but shaky cam. It's a shame because I quite liked that. I liked bits of this, should we say? Bits of it were okay, and bits of it weren't, and bits
Yeah.
of it was a little bit all over the place. Not bad for, I guess, his first sort of attempt.
Yeah,
at
because
directing.
Dev Patel he directed and stars in this.
It just needs to slow it. For me personally, I think it needs to be, the fight scenes seem to be not so chaotic, if you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're supposed to be chaotic, but they're just too chaotic. They're just like bang bang, So
Well, is it like hard to follow what's going on?
yeah, it's hard to follow what's going on. It just becomes very much a blur to me. Maybe
Yeah.
I need, maybe it's my eyesight, but it's just way too much. It needs to
Yeah.
be, for me personally, because I'm not keen on shaky cam stuff, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a shaky cam sort of thing.
But is
having
it one
said
of these?
that-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go on. No, go on.
I was gonna say like, is it one of these things where it's almost kind of relentless? Like, there's hardly any space for the
Yes.
story to breathe because
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
action, punch, kick, and just
pretty
carries
much.
on and carries on.
Yeah, with a few flashbacks. So, but I mean, so yeah, so I'll give this a bog standard 3. Didn't change the world. Didn't it wasn't. It had elements which I quite enjoyed. So, but as I say, it was just a bit too chaotic. I mean, I normally love chaos, wouldn't you? You'd think it would be right up my street. I'm a chaotic person, and you'd think, oh man,
Yeah,
all this chaos. But no, so 3 stars. This one's 3.
I've heard a lot of things I've heard about this are people saying, you know what, I'm looking forward to what he does next. There's enough promise here. I'm looking, but I've heard of what you said that. Yeah, there's some really good bits, but then that seems to be like that's like the general consensus about this film. There's some really good bits, but then everything I've heard about this film is that.
That
All right.
but, isn't it?
What? Sorry, what's that?
There's always a but. It's like it's great, but
Yeah. But it's but I'm still looking forward to it because I think the story. This is one of those films where the story behind the film is actually quite interesting because this film. Essentially, we could have been talking about this. We're talking about this film as on the cinema side of our boxing fight, but this film could actually was originally slated to be on the Netflix side because it was supposed to be released on Netflix. But then Jordan Peele, who did Get Out, saw the film and he went, "Oh wow, yeah." He's all about supporting up and coming filmmakers and everything like that. And he was like, "We need to get this thing in cinemas." So yeah. All right, cool. So that is 3 stars for Monkey Man. And now in an